am a communications expert and know a little bit about body language and forensic interviewing too. And you have found my channel here on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share. You won't regret it. You are entering another amazing episode of 7 Questions with Interesting People. And I'll tell you, my guest today is so interesting that it took us 20 minutes to start recording because we have so much to talk about outside of this today. So I want to introduce you to Shelley Klingerman. Shelley she does all the things. She's the founder of the Stiletto Agency. She's has a former career at Sony. She is an entrepreneur founder of Next Venture Studio. And I can't even begin to peel back how awesome you are here, Shelley, but I want to kick it over to you. Just what lights you up? What do you love working on?
Personal security is something that I'm very passionate about because I think it's very empowering. And I pull that from my experiences traveling at a young age. When I started Sony, as you mentioned, I was very green. I was kind of thrown out there to the world to go start my professional career. But I really ended up realizing how green I was when I look back. So that is one of my passions today, is to better prepare women and females in college and males to navigate this world, that's crazy changing world, in a very confident manner and in a safe way.
Yeah, you and I have that in common. I started my corporate career really young and started traveling, and you just really don't even know. And it's not to be fearful, but it's just to have awareness and make good decisions and be able to assess your environment. So I love that you're equipping and really letting people have more control and more confidence over the environments that they're walking into, the people that they're interacting with my experience in body language and threat assessment. There's so much of what we do that overlaps and that I appreciate you just really helping to empower and equip people with. And I know that that's like one of the things I love about you and makes you interesting, but what else are you working on? Because our worlds just get to keep colliding here, which is awesome.
They do. Entrepreneurship is another thing that really is something I'm passionate about. And I think that everything I do is filling that or feeding that fire in me that I didn't even realize what it was until later on. I started a corporate job very early on, which is a very structured environment, which I loved it. I had an amazing career and I had amazing opportunities. But while I was there, I always had this desire to be doing other things. So while I was at Sony, I produced a documentary, and it was about school security, which is kind of what else fed into that safety aspect. I started a women's boutique because I didn't feel where I lived had great offerings. And so I was like, I'm going to fill this void. I've written a book. I've pursued a yoga training career, which I kind of honed in on veterans because I'm passionate about veterans. So I think underlying at my core, I'm an entrepreneur. I just didn't recognize it until later on that's what that was. Always rearing is I had this full-time career. It was a corporate job, but I always had this desire to go do other things. And that was that entrepreneurial. So I think even my last project, which you just talked about the book, it was that entrepreneurial fire and that desire to fill a void in the market, which I thought there wasn't really anything on the market that addressed this specific issue, which I had run into, which is feeling confident and safe when I was by myself traveling for work. And then really just taking it into daily life now, because you have to practice it in your daily life to be able to execute it when you're on the road.
Right. Automate the mechanism. Right. And I think you and I both strongly resonate with the term that Jeff Goings dubbed portfolio life, right? Like it's finding fulfillment, meeting your needs, getting your passions met in lots of different things, not just in one space. And I think that's why when we first met, I was like, I get her. I like her. I like her a lot.
And I think I'm like you. I just love talking to interesting people.
Yeah. That's been my favorite thing about this series, is getting to bring all the interesting, amazing people I know and introducing everyone else to you, which is awesome. So I want to get into the questions here. How do you build your confidence, Shelley? Because you walk into a lot of different places and spaces.
Well, I will be honest. it's a work in progress. I don't always feel like I'm confident walking into spaces. I will just, again, be transparent. Every time I do a talk, which I've done many, I am not maybe as nervous as the first one, but I'm still nervous. And I'm always concerned about, delivering what the audience wants and making sure that I've got relevant information that they're going to find valuable and beneficial. But I think just facing your fears is kind of how you build that confidence. And then having conversations with interesting people, having conversations with people that you admire, having conversations with people who have been through experiences that you see yourself maybe going through in the future, and learning from them. So not being so arrogant to think that I know everything. I know I am always a work in process.
Yeah, I love that. How is your definition of success? Because you've had success in a lot of different ways and in a lot of different endeavors. How has your definition of success changed from maybe those days early in your career to where you are today?
You know what? I'm really bad about celebrating success, to be honest. And I think that's not necessarily a good thing. I think that I sometimes keep a lid on myself because I don't take the time to celebrate that and experience the growth from it. I think that, oh, well, anybody could have done that. And so I will say sometimes I think maybe my growth is stunted because I don't say, hey, you did go to the next rung. I'm sometimes my own worst enemy when it comes to that. I'm very critical, and that, again, I'm not saying that is a good thing. I think sometimes I need to step back, and when I hear other people talk about things that I've done, I hear it differently than having done it. I just sometimes don't give myself that success. So it's kind of a hard question. I still need to work on it. And I love celebrating other people's success. I'm just not really good at celebrating and recognizing things that I truly have accomplished.
Yeah, that's really interesting because I know, again, I know you, if I were to read your bio off, right, and you were to hear that bio for someone who wasn't you, you'd be like, damn, like, she's done a lot. That's freaking awesome. Right? But I think it's the curse of the type A's that we're like, okay, what's next? Right. Build, seek, better, next, faster, more. Yeah. Right. And so you don't take a moment to pause and like appreciate your own.
Sometimes being content isn't good. I mean, sometimes you need to be content, and otherwise you're never happy. And that's something that I'm very cognizant of, is that when I feel like I'm not enough, I have to step back and maybe sometimes go back and read the bio. But I do have to take myself back to like, okay, you have done things and you should be proud of them, and just pause instead of constantly just be looking for the next thing, because you will never be happy.
You are speaking to my soul right now.
That's why we get along.
I know, right? Right. What do you think is the biggest scam or lie that we're being sold in society right now? What do you think the biggest falsehood is that we're maybe not aware of or just buying into?
I will speak for myself. I think I have always I've seen the term as I am a human doer instead of a human being. Sometimes you just need to be. And I think in this moment in society, we all just need to be. I mean, there is so much chaos going on. There's uncertainty that we're, nervous about. I think right now we just need to be, and we need to be human beings. And again, I am the one that needs to hear that the most. And I think in these times, what's false is that we have to be like, treading water and trying to stay afloat. But it's not healthy. And if there's any point in time where you can justify kind of powering down and just observing, anything can go in 2020. So do it. Just be a human being for the rest of the year.
That is like my challenge statement right there. Like, that is the thing. I'm like, no, like chaos. I want to work more and do more and build more and be.
Well, I think we feel guilty, and there is no reason that we should feel guilty. I mean, we are putting that guilt on ourselves. No, you're not making me feel guilty about it. No one else. It's me. So that's kind of that introspective, kind of emotional intelligence you need to understand. Like, I'm in control of this, and I just need to be. And I think you
Yeah,
see so much when you slow down.
that's powerful. I need to be much more mindful about the pause and not skipping past the pause.
Mm-hmm.
Good challenge for me, Shelley. Dang
Okay,
it.
I'll hold you accountable.
I knew you were
You're going to be sorry.
So when you pause and you think about, let's pause for a moment and think about what's something that has brought you joy. It can be recent, it can be lifetime. Like when you close your eyes and you go there in your mind and you think of like the thing that puts the biggest smile on your face, like what has been a source of joy for you?
Always consistency. It's my family. I love, love, love having my family around me. And I was way more excited about being quarantined earlier this year than my daughter, who got pulled back from college. Like, it was the worst time for her. But for me, I was like, I kind of feel bad. And I'm kind of enjoying this moment. I mean, and again, that was just a time you had to look for the good, because there was nothing, March, April, May that appeared good. But if you kind of paused and thought, this for me and where I am with my family, I will probably never have that much time with them all together again, because she is in school and will be going off and starting her career. So I saw it honestly as a little bit of a gift. And so every memory I have where there's joy involved, it involves that. I mean, a consistent. I've had other, of course, joy moments in my life, but that one will always bring me. I mean, whether it's a Sunday night sitting on the couch, whether it's a dinner around the table, or a vacation abroad, they are always the common thread in my joy.
I love it. Fruits of your labor, right? Good dynamics in a family don't happen by accident, right? They happen by intentionality. And so I'm glad that is a source of joy for you on a continual basis. Shifting gears a little bit, what is one thing that you think if everyone could do it or commit to it would make the biggest difference in the world right now? What is like one game changer practice or idea or methodology that you think could move us further faster? Just in the right direction?
Kindness. Like, just when you do something nice for other people, it makes you feel good. And I think right now the world needs this kindness, whether it's, again, opening a door. I mean, I've literally tried to make a point to write personal notes to people that I haven't maybe talked to in a while, or that have had an impact on my life, or that I appreciate and I don't tell them. But I think right now that's what people need, is just kindness, because it's pretty nasty right now. And people that you've been friends with for a long time are finding divides for things that are unnecessary at this moment. I think we all have to go back to the personal relationships you have and push everything out that surrounds that, and take it back to the core of how you treat each other. Yeah. So kindness is what I think everybody could do to make the world a better place right now. Words.
I agree.
I mean, words are flying.
I co-sign on the kindness initiative. It would change everything. Thinking of kindness and thinking of maybe how your point of view has changed over the years, what do you think is one key way that you personally have evolved? And it could be from 10 years ago or 20 years ago or childhood. What is something, and just one, I know you've changed a lot and grown a lot, but what is one way that you really feel like you've evolved?
I used to be really, really concerned about everybody liking me. And I realized in my adult years that it's not going to happen. I mean, and it's okay. So I think a little bit of that, what I go back to and click on, is that contentness. Like, I'm content with it. I mean, I think that's probably how I've evolved. I spent a lot of time and energy worrying about other people's perception of me, when I really, honestly, I had no evidence of why they maybe even thought about that. So I think maybe the evolution is I look for evidence now. Like, if I have a feeling, is there evidence, or is this just false? I mean, I'm going to refer back to your head trash. I mean, I took something from your head trash. Like, where is the evidence base that this people is? It's just in my head. And when I apply that, and I've been doing that, but you referenced it, I realized, like, why am I spending my time on this? And I think that sometimes comes with that confidence that you talked about early on, that I'm okay with it. But I think that's how I evolved. I spent a lot of time trying to make everybody like me, and it's impossible. So don't waste your time.
Amen. Amen, sister. Words to live by. Okay. And quickly, as we wrap up, rapid fire, if somebody were to meet you and interact with you very briefly, like 60 seconds, what 3 words would you hope that person would use to describe you after you walked away?
Kind, because I need to live by my own rules. High energy and passionate.
Easy for you. That would all 3 apply easily translate. Okay, that's our 7 questions. We're going to keep it short. We're going to keep it simple. I know you're a busy woman with important things to do after here, but where can people go to connect more with you, Shelley, to find out more about your projects and your passions?
Well, you can look me up on social media, Shelley Klingerman. It's with a K. You can check out my book on Amazon, or you can go to stilettoagency.com and connect with me there, and also see the book. LinkedIn. I am readily available to connect with anyone, and I certainly appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, and you guys are going to want to connect with her. I'll put all the links and information in the comments section below so you can find it easily. Follow her. She's an incredible human, not just interesting, but kind and wise, and all the good words you can think of. You don't want to miss it. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to like this episode. I want you to subscribe to the channel, and I want you to share it with 3 people that need to hear what Shelley just shared. Until next time, we'll get 7 more questions with another interesting person. Thanks for tuning in.